Episode of My 2 Cent. My name is Paul Emerson, and I'll be giving you my 2 cents. This is my current setup. If you've been following the channel, then you already know what's going on. But yeah, and right now I'm blacking out my windows so that I can do homework. I've got my computer, my laptop. It's charging, and what I've done, I don't feel like getting out of the vehicle, so I'll just do this. Turn this back on. I bought that green light is a generator. So that's it. That's pretty much what's going on right now. This allows me to be this allows me to be the functional member of society that I want to be. I don't want people trying to convince me that I'm stupid. I don't want people trying to convince me that I'm dumb. I don't want people to convince me that if I just love Jesus hard enough, that my life will be better so that I can go out of my way to engage in immoral, illegal, and unethical activities. I don't want to have to sit around and pretend and lie every fucking day and waste energy and waste mental power remembering the false statements that I make just so that I can fit into a bunch of with a group of people that don't even like themselves. I don't have time for that, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be a productive, honest member of society. I'm not gonna bitch and complain. I'm not gonna argue and fight. Nobody wants to care that the world is broken. No one wants to look outside their window and see the problems of the world and come up with a solution to those adversities, come up with a mutual understanding. The people that have more than they need don't want to share with the people that have less than we need, and everybody wants to be okay with that dynamic. So moving forward, I'm done. My 2 cent comics can function perfectly fine in this chaos, in this disorder, in this. If the whole world is okay with Europeans destroying it and not taking accountability or responsibility for destroying it, so they can have a little bit more than the larger nations. If we're okay individually with the few having more than the many, that's fine. If the many want to go out of their way to break their backs to have crumbs when we could just make cakes ourselves, then that's fine. I'm talking to nobody because I'm by myself, so I'm talking to nobody. But anyway, if the majority of us on this planet are perfectly okay with the adversities of the world as they stand, and we're perfectly willing to let the few take from us and destroy us and manipulate us and control us, then that's fine. If that's how this is gonna work, then that's how this is gonna work. Happy Thanksgiving. But I have to sleep in my car, get ready to go to work. I don't have time to do laundry, so I have to take a shower, put on dirty clothes, work 10 hours tomorrow, leave work, go to Burger King, work another 6 hours, just so I could get a check, so I could pay back a $4,000 debt, because all I was trying to do was be a husband and a father to my wife. I make good, sound, honest decisions in my life, and I have a bunch of corrupt people around me disrespecting me, mistreating me, using reality against me, changing variables of the world, just, basic human stuff. And my 2 cents is not for children because you don't see it. Depending on your age, you don't see it. But what happens is, as you slowly put up with this crap, by the time you become 24, 25, and it's happened to you enough, you're like, oh, that's just the way the world works. And so when you're in your 30s and in your 40s, you're like, well, that's just the way the world works. You don't communicate that down to the next generation. That's the whole point of what makes us humans, is our ability to pass relevant, useful information to our youth. You see all the stuff that's happening in politics. You see the direction the world is going in. But you don't understand the underlying lies and deceptions that take place. Institutional racism works because of lies and deceptions. It works because of coercion. It works because I have dirt on you. So if you try to convince me that I should do something that I'm supposed to do, I will just use my dirt against you to keep you in check. Christianity is a religion that says, hey, if you follow these principles, the world will be a better place. The vast majority of the world that you see is governed by Christianity. Why isn't it a better place? Why isn't it a better place? My generator was not built by Christians. My car was not built by Christians. There's no instructions in the Bible for that. So I'm sitting in this car with light and power and a laptop in 2024 because of the principles of science and empirical data and philosophy. Those things work every day for us to be better versions of ourselves. And we waste energy being distracted by policies and regulations and principles and dichotomization of things that are designed to distort reality and trick you into giving up more than what you're going to receive. And you don't know it because you're too young to know it. And like I said, the way that it works is by the time you start figuring out what's happened to you, you've already experienced it enough and you're like, well, it happened to me, it should happen to the next generation. No, we should fix it. You should make sure that the world that you live in is better than the one that you should make sure the world that your children are in is better than the one that you live in, the same way that your parents should have made sure that the world that you're in is better than the one that they were in. And there should be some standard of what is universally good so that we don't have to keep chasing infinities. There doesn't have to be a continuously climbing ceiling for good and happiness and enjoyment. It just has to be a floor, a ground level where we all can agree that this is the minimum, this is what everybody should have, this is it, this is enough. This is enough for you. This is enough water for you. This is enough food for you. This is enough square foot for you to be able to live in comfortably. This is enough logistical resources for you to be able to function as a person. This is enough for you. If you want more than this, work harder. Not work harder for less. You need 2 liters of water. Work harder for 1.5 liters of water. Next year, work harder for 1.4 liters of water. Next year, work harder for 1.3 liters of water. And every year that you're working harder for less, your body is deteriorating and your strength is diminishing. So what sense does that make? You know that the average person is only going to live for about 60 to 80 years. You know that as we get stronger, we reach our peak and our prime, and then we start to deteriorate and go downward. So what sense does it make to expect more from somebody in their 60s that has been investing in society for the last 50, 60 years than you would expect from a 20-year-old that can actually do the work and wants to do the work? The average 20-year-old doesn't care about what a 6-year-old's got going on. He's more than willing to do the work to pay for his parents and his his grandparents and his parents, so they can have a good quality of life. But we're being convinced that that's not what you actually want to do. You don't want to actually set your parents up so that they can be loving and supportive when they're in their older ages and about to leave the planet. You want to make sure that they're suffering. And their suffering silences their voice so that they can't tell you as a 20-year-old what you should be doing to better your own quality of life. So when you're their age, you won't have to make the same mistake that they make. But we don't. My generation, the 40-year-olds, Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z, the millennials, all of these boomers and bullshit, they don't want to have to actually take the time out and that's necessary to put this information in the world because they haven't recognized the connectivity of the global system. They don't understand that you can talk to somebody real time in Japan. You can talk to somebody real time in Russia. You can talk to somebody real time in Australia. They don't get it. Like, we don't have to keep letting our individual governments govern us in a way that doesn't unite us as a global society. Like, we should literally all be a global community, right? And why is it that this area over here that has the same exact people suffer, and this area over here that have the same exact people are prosperous? The people that live on the resources are doing worse than the people that don't live on the resources. Why? Why can't there be equality? I understand that there can't be an infinite amount of everything for everyone. I get that. Why can't there be a universal minimum where everyone can be happy? Why? Why can't cough syrup be universally given to anybody that has a cold? Because it benefits the person standing next to you if you're not coughing. If I'm sick and I can make you sick, why can't you just give me medicine for free so you won't be sick? Because we have this idea in our heads that my health is better if I see other people sick. I feel better about who I am if I'm healthy, surrounded by sick people. And the disillusion is you still got viruses and bacteria in your body destroying you because you're surrounded by sickness and disease. So even if you feel healthy, even if you look healthy, internally you're still unnecessarily exerting excessive amounts of energy to maintain your health. So what's better for everyone should be what's best for one person. And one person shouldn't just be coddled to and taken care of and then expect the world to just do whatever for them. We should work. We should have to labor. We should have to contribute. But our government should make sure that we're working and contributing and being given back equal in amount. And that's what's not fair. I shouldn't work at a company and make them $100,000 every fucking week and only get $30 an hour. I just shouldn't. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense for companies to get millions of fucking dollars, and then when they can't pay their insurance or they can't pay their rent for their buildings, their $2.5 million rent and their $500,000 taxes and legislations and shit, they get write-offs and they get acceptable liens and they get extra lines of credit so that they can continue to be a fucking company. But the people that come to work miss one fucking month of rent. We don't get any fucking thing. Why is that the universal standard? Make that make sense to me. Why do you know that I have this much? You know that my rent is X amount, and if I can't give you the amount, you charge me more money because I can't make more money. And when I go to my boss and say, hey, I need more hours at work because I can't pay my rent, my boss says, not my problem. Not my problem. I'm taking your hours for me because I can't pay my rent also. Which one of us is wrong? We're fighting the same fight. We're stuck under the same paradigm. So which one of us is actually wrong? Neither one of us. Governments exist to regulate companies. Companies need to be regulated because people are going to do the wrong thing if they're given the opportunity to do so. And it's always been that way, and it always should be that way. There should always be government oversight. I hate that I paid 18 years of my life in child support, but there should be fucking child support. There's not enough responsible people on the planet to self-govern. The government should have a better system than one that is based on fucking racism. That's the problem. The problem is not the child support. The problem is not the money that I'm paying. The problem is that you looked at a white woman and you looked at an African-American woman. You looked at a white woman and you looked at a black man, or you looked at a Caucasian woman and you looked at an African-American man, and you said, this nigga's just gonna pay us. That's the actual problem. This nigga's just gonna pay us. We're gonna just take everything from him. We don't care what fucking happens to him. Hopefully he fucking dies. And the money that we're gonna extract from him, we're gonna give it to white America so they can continue to live in this self-deluded world, in this self-deluded reality that they are somehow better and superior because of the unethical, immoral, and illegal activities that take place every day in this country, to give them this idea that they are prosperous because of their ability, when we know that the game is fucking rigged. Because the money that we give to them is only a fraction of what we keep for ourselves. $50,000 I paid in child support. $40,000 in the last 10 years, and over $10,000 in 8 years. And one day I'll show you the numbers. $50,000, 18 years of my life. This is where I'm in my car. This is the reason why I'm in my car. From the age of 22 to the age of 41, 18 years of child support. Why? Because my daughter's mother didn't want to be a productive member of society. She didn't want to be a responsible adult. She just didn't. So she used the opportunity she had to take advantage of me, because she understands that white America has certain principles and policies in place that she could exploit and use to get what she wants, and that's what she did. And it's just that damn simple. And there is a difference between not having information and lacking an experience and being fucking retarded. That is the core foundational principle of my 2 cents. There is a difference between those two. Just because you don't have experience and just because you're lacking in information doesn't make you fucking mentally challenged. And if it does, give us a fucking check for our inability to function at the level we're supposed to be able to function at. If I'm mentally ill, if I'm feeble, if I'm not able-bodied, if I'm handicapped, give me a check so that I'm not a burden on society. Let me have money so I can go to stores and buy goods and services so that people that actually can walk around and function can get paid a wage for their labor so they can pay their rent. Those are checks and balances. That's the way government should work. It's just that damn simple. You don't want me to commit suicide, not that I want to, but think about the reality. You don't want people to commit suicide, but you don't want to give them the resources to be able to live. So you expect the average person to live and suffer. It's illegal to hunt game without a license. It's illegal to drink water. It's illegal to live any fucking where that you don't own property for. You have to pay rent and utilities. You got all these things that make it illegal. For what? For what? So you can take a person and put them in prison and force them to work for a wage that is not livable. You want to put me in a cell, right? What is this car? This car is a fucking cell. The only difference between a prison and a cell in this car is I have the fucking key. That's the only difference. They don't care how it happens as long as it happens. Because as long as we're distracted, then we are not a threat to undermine and dislodge the control that they have. Academics want you to go to 18 years to learn to be in compliance with a broken fucking system. And anybody that has any level of morality and ethics and legality don't function well in society. All of the people that are honest are not going to function well. And if you're pathologically honest, which should be considered a great trait in the human condition, you wind up insane because you can't function in this retarded ass fucking system, right? You just can't function. You need to be smart enough to know when to do the wrong thing. That is what is expected of us every day. And you need to be obedient enough to take your punishment so that you can set the example to everybody else. I need you to break the law, and I need you to break the law. If you get away with breaking the law, you don't go to jail. If you get away with breaking the law, you don't go to jail. But the moment either one of you get caught breaking the law, you both agree that you have to go to jail. Why even make laws at all? Why make laws at all? And I could rant for hours and hours and hours, but I don't have time for that. As always, my name is Paul Emerson. I've given you my 2 cents.